The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships, or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
What is your energy around money? Is it abundant? Do you have enough? Or do you constantly find yourself in this place, this energy of lack, fear, greed? Maybe it feels like you've never had enough or you never have enough. Maybe you have scarcity around money. You see, energy, if you look at it in the definition of a dictionary, is defined by the ability to do work. Energy is the ability to do work. Now, energy comes in so many different forms. It comes in heat, like this thermal energy. It comes in light, this radiant energy, and it comes in motion, possibly like a kinetic energy. Think about this. We have ways that we can actually generate energy through heat, like thermal, like exercise, walking, yelling, screaming, like whatever it is, being happy, excited. These are ways that we can store energy that we need to release, that we can release. Then we have these other ways that I like to think of energy, which are like light, these spiritual ways, maybe like meditation, ways that we can begin to find our flow and our purpose. But think about this. If we're talking about light, we're talking about things like meditation, mindfulness, awareness. These are all ways that we can internally create this energy in a spiritual world, in a spiritual way. So whether you believe in it or not, you believe in a religion or not, what you can't deny is your ability to create this type of energy called light. And for most people, they might think of light as turning on the actual light in your house, in your work, or wherever else. But I want you to consider there's ways that you can turn on your own light and your own energy inside of your own life by finding your flow, by finding your purpose, by meditating, by being mindful of what's actually going on. And then you have this motion. Maybe it's working, maybe it's building, maybe it's creating. But these are natural ways that we can begin to create energy and put it actually into motion. A year ago, I want to tell you a story. A year ago, I walk into one of the ladies that I was working with when I lived up in Gig Harbor, Washington. And I walked in to get my energy read one day, and this lady happens to be a mentor, a great friend. Her name was Nancy. She's someone who I'd worked with for, prior to this, it was about a year and a half. She told me as we were going through an energy reading, and she actually read my aura. And one of the things that she said is she's seen God and the Eye of Horus in my aura. And I'm like, well, who's the Eye of Horus? And she's like, well, you're going to have to go study. And she kind of described him. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. But I thought, hey, all right, I'm going to go study and try to figure this thing out. So I left her office. I can still remember this. And it was literally like a year ago today. I left her office and I'm like, what the hell? Like, who's this Eye of Horus? Like, I've never heard of him. And so as I got back to work that day, I went into my office, and it was in my old office in my gym, and I walked to the back, and all of a sudden I see this yellow pamphlet, the ones from Amazon when you order one book, and this package had been delivered on my desk, and immediately I opened it up. I see this book, and it's called Money is Love. And I had came across this book 3 or 4 days before, and I'm like, man, money is love. What the heck does that mean? Like this looks like an interesting book. And so the next thing I know, I open the book, and I open it to the very first page I opened it to was like page 52 or 55 or 56. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I opened it directly to the page. And on this page happened to be an explanation of the $1 bill. And it was breaking down all the spiritual meanings and definitions of money. Like if you look on the back of a dollar bill, literally everything on there is a spiritual meaning besides maybe the president and his name. But literally there's so many things on the dollar bill that actually have meaning in a spiritual way. The next thing I know, as I'm actually reading through this section, I begin to just, I don't know why, I just began to read the explanation of the $1 bill. And at the top, it was talking about the pyramid on the back of a $1 bill. And if you have one, take it out and actually look at the back of it, and you will see at the top of, or on the back side of the $1 bill, you'll see a pyramid. At the top of that pyramid, you'll see an eye. And that's actually the Eye of Horus. And if you're listening to this, you're like, dude, you're making this up. And I'm like, hey, I can't even make this up even if I wanted to. But as I seen this, I was like, holy shit, like what is happening? What is the coincidence of this? And for many of you, you may be like, well, there's no coincidences. And obviously there's not. But I immediately locked myself in my office, and I read through the book for the next 2 to 3 hours. It's completely changed my perception about money, changed my perception around my energy around money, and just changed my whole world. Like I dove into this book for literally months, just understanding it and learning it. And at the time, I was just getting ready. I actually had listed my business at the beginning of the month. And so I was actually going through the process of selling my business. And what it really meant to me was like I had to change my energy around money in order to be able to sell my business. In order to sell my business, I had to change my energy around money. And maybe you're listening to this and you're like, man, I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of doubt. I have a lot of, scarcity around money. And I just don't know how to get rid of it. Maybe you're in a difficult place. But here's what I began to experience with money is I cannot control money. I cannot control love. These things are both spiritual. You hear people talk a lot about money as a tool. I don't buy that. I don't buy that it's a tool. It's been around for decades. It's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. If it was a tool, I don't know too many tools that have been around that long. Back in the days, you used to trade vegetables, produce, things like that. That was your money, cows. And then it became into dollar bills, coins, grain, food. These things were what people prayed over. But once it became into this world and you began to have greed and all these other things, it changed. It changed, and you have been taught by society to believe that it is evil, that it is bad. But I want you to consider shifting your mindset today around money. You see, money is energy. It can flow freely in your life and mine, even through the entire world. And even in the book, it talks about it can flow like blood. But guess what blocks it? Fear. Fear becomes like a dam to this. Not having enough, having greed, hoarding, scarcity. These are all different elements of fear. And here's one of the things that I started to realize is the only thing I can control is my energy around money and my energy around love. So I can't control money. I can't control my energy. I can't control money. I can't control love, but I can control my energy around money and love. And there's a huge lesson in that. You see, I can only control the energy I have around money and love. And you could apply this same thing to so many other areas. You could apply this same thing to even like something as basic as fitness. Look, take someone who has a bad attitude, bad energy around fitness. They walk into your gym and they want personal training, and then they become the person who complains about working out. They hate fitness, and there becomes an issue around their energy and fitness. So no matter how good of a trainer you are, the results that they get are dictated by the energy that they have, that they bring with them. Let's talk about diets. What about the people who have been on diets their whole life? They already know all the diets. They know the keto, the intermittent fasting. They know macros. They know literally everything. But it's the energy you carry while you're on that diet or nutrition plan, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then we have church people who have been scared or hurt by churches, pastors, members. And then they carry around this weird energy. Like, I don't get to go to church because what my church did to me. Well, there's an energy block inside of me that is breaking me away from going to church. Now, whether you go to church or not, it doesn't really matter, but there's a lot of people with some weird energy around church. There's a lot of people with weird energy around religion because of things that have happened, and it's blocking the flow of them finding their own spiritual way, their own spiritual path. Then you have people with energy, weird energy around their marriage, complaining about their spouse, complaining about their husband, what they do or don't do, complaining about their wife, how they may not work all day. They're just home taking care of the kids and how easy their life is. But everything is energy, and energy is everything, even when it comes to your marriage, even it comes when you're home. So if you don't like your home, if you don't like your marriage, maybe you need to check on your own energy, and maybe you need to check on yourself and begin to change your energy around your relationship with your husband. Change your energy around your relationship with your wife, because it becomes contagious. And here's the one thing that I know. You ever walk by somebody on a street and all of a sudden they come by and it's like they hit you with this energy. They don't say anything. You just feel it. And you're like, man, oh my gosh, like I just got like warmed up. And then there's other times where you walk by somebody and it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just walked into a dark cloud. That is energy. That is all around us all the time. What is your energy in your marriage? What is your energy around your religion, your spirituality? What is your religion around your fitness? Maybe it's time to change. And then there's this energy around money. Think about this. $1 bill and $100 bill, if you hold them, they feel completely different. So if there wasn't energy around money, why would a $100 bill feel different than a $1 bill? And imagine this, every time you exchange money, what are you exchanging when you pay for something? You're exchanging energy. And where in your life do you need to start changing your energy? Maybe it's in money. Maybe it's in your relationships. Maybe it's in your spirituality. But when you exchange money, you're exchanging beliefs, thoughts, energy around money with someone else. Just think about this. What is the energy you're exchanging? Is it doubt? Is it fear? And am I giving this doubt and fear in exchange for a service? I can remember a week ago talking to someone specifically about a program. And I started to feel like they were in scarcity. I started to feel like they wanted to exchange their scarcity for my coaching. And I immediately had to shift and say, listen, I don't think that I'm the right coach for you. I don't think this is a good fit. Thank you for checking in with me. Because I would have been taking on that person's scarcity. It's not that I was getting paid, but I was getting paid with scarcity, and I was getting paid with money. And those things would affect me in the long run. So what if you shifted your fears, doubts, and scarcity you had when you come in exchange of money, or you stopped accepting people's money that was exchanged with fear, doubt, and scarcity, and you changed it to love, joy, and abundance? You see, money is powerful. Just hold the $100 bill. Look at it. You can feel the energy. You can feel everything around it. But imagine what it feels like to begin exchanging this love that you have, this joy that you have because you're happy to actually exchange a service for money. And the next time you buy something, consider what you are actually exchanging energetically. One of the things that I began to do after I read this book was every time I spend money, every time I would pay for something with a credit card at the bottom, I would write money is love. And I've been doing that consistently for a year to remind myself every time that I buy something that there's love behind it, to remind myself that every time I buy something that there's a joy behind it. Because in my mind, I want to go back to scarcity at times. I want to go back to this fear. I want to hold on to these things. But there's an opportunity for you to make a shift today, shifting your relationship with money, shifting your energy around money, because money is no longer a tool. Money is energy, and the energy you have with your money affects your life. So today, give yourself an opportunity to begin to shift that. Thank you for being on here. If you are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group. This is where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle that we talk about, maybe you have some questions, comments, requests, reviews. I would love to have your review. I would love to get feedback. Feel free to contact me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. You can also reach out to me on my website, Jesse, Jesse, last name is EWELL.com, and begin living with this new energy that you find from money. All right, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse